Welcome to the deep dive, where we take a stack of information and really extract the most important nuggets of knowledge. We try to help you cut through the noise, get truly well informed. Today, we're doing a special deep dive. We've got a fascinating collection of headlines from India, all from one specific day, July 4th, 2025.
Yeah, it's just a single day, a snapshot in time, really.
Yeah.
But the sheer breadth of what happened, it offers a remarkable window, doesn't it? To the complexities of a nation just perpetually in motion.
It really does.
It's true. And this isn't just, a random assortment of news. These headlines, they reveal so much about India's diverse landscape, its ongoing balancing act.
Right.
We'll be looking at everything from sporting triumphs, record-breaking individual stuff on the cricket pitch, all the way to complex geopolitical challenges that, ripple across borders. And then there's digital rights, access to the internet, which is critical,
Yeah.
and even the rigorous world of financial regulation.
Lot to cover.
Our mission today is really to unpack each of these stories, understand not just what happened, but precisely why it matters. In the broader context of a nation continuously asserting its evolving role on the global stage.
So we'll dig into the specifics.
Oh, yeah. We'll delve into the specific details and then try to connect them to the larger themes, the often interconnected themes that are at play here.
That's the essence of it. Think of it as a thorough but hopefully captivating tour through a highly dynamic nation. We've got everything, like you said, a cricketer's monumental history-making innings, high-stakes international diplomacy, the chilling brink of a nuclear standoff.
Wow.
And even how daily life gets impacted by emerging issues like internet shutdowns and social divisions.
It's a testament to how multifaceted India truly is.
Absolutely. Okay, let's dig deeper. Let's jump right into our first big story. A real highlight for any sports enthusiast, especially if you follow cricket.
Cricket dominates India's commanding performance at Edgbaston.
Kicking us off then. For anyone who revels in the thrill of competitive sports, day 2 of the second test at Edgbaston. Well, it saw India establishing a truly commanding presence.
Oh, absolutely.
We're talking about a record-breaking performance. It didn't just set the tone for the match, it absolutely dictated it. Gave them an almost unassailable lead, it feels like.
It really does. This wasn't merely a strong day. It was a profound statement of intent from the Indian side.
Yeah.
And what's truly fascinating here isn't just the fact of their dominance, but the sheer scale of it, largely driven, as you often see, by an exceptional individual performance that somehow also perfectly encapsulated a collective team effort. It wasn't just a good day for India, it was undeniably historic. And the centerpiece, Shubman Gill's monumental innings, 269 runs.
269, wow.
Yeah, this wasn't just a big score, though it certainly was big.
Yeah.
It was a masterful display, skill, temperament, and it shattered multiple long-standing records in Test cricket, making it, captain's innings for the ages.
And when you say shattered records, I mean, that implies he surpassed some pretty legendary names, doesn't it? Who exactly did he eclipse with this incredible knock?
Precisely. The impact of Gill's 269 resonates even more when you look at the records he passed. First, highest score ever by an Indian captain in Test cricket.
Okay.
He took over from none other than Virat Kohli's 254, which was itself incredible.
Why? That alone is huge.
Huge.
Yeah.
That alone would be a career highlight for most. But Gill didn't stop there. He also eclipsed Sachin Tendulkar's 241.
No way, Tendulkar.
Yes, marking the highest score by any Indian batsman in a test match played outside the subcontinent. So to surpass two modern legends like Kohli and an all-time icon like Tendulkar, especially while leading the team as captain, it speaks volumes, not just about his talent, but his composure, his ability to perform under that immense pressure.
Yeah, that's the key, isn't it? The pressure.
Exactly. This masterclass, as people called it, single-handedly set India up an imposing lead of 587 runs, puts England under immense pressure very, very early in this pivotal second test.
So the batting provided that massive foundation. But cricket's a team game, right? Sounds like the Indian bowlers were equally relentless in dismantling England's top order. How did they follow up on Gill's heroics?
They were absolutely ruthless. Ruthless is the word. While Gill's batting set the, unshakable foundation, the Indian seamers, Akashdeep and Mohammad Siraj, they just dismantled England's batting lineup.
Oh, so...
with a combination of exceptional precision and aggression. Akashdeep was particularly incisive, triggered a dramatic collapse right after India declared. He got England's opener, Ben Duckett, a nick to slip, and guess who took the catch?
Let me guess. Gill.
Gill himself. a sharp diving catch, proving his influence went beyond the bat that day.
Incredible.
Then Deep followed up that crucial wicket, got Ollie Pope edging one to KL Rahul on the very next delivery.
Wow, consecutive balls.
Consecutive balls sent shivers down England's spine you can imagine. This devastating double blow set the stage. Then Mohammad Siraj, he contributed significantly too. Got Zach Crawley to edge one cleanly to Karun Nair.
So the result was?
The result was a truly dire 25-3. England's top 3 batsmen back in the pavilion. Just like that, leaving them reeling and the match firmly in India's grasp.
And something else notable, I recall this being a bit of a concern in the previous match at Headingley, India's fielding. How did they perform this time around? Any dropped catches?
That's a really crucial detail, actually, and it highlights a significant improvement. India's fielding, which had noticeably faltered in the first test, dropped catches cost them dearly there. It remained sharp this time around. They were effectively converting opportunities. Which is absolutely vital in Test cricket, right? Every single chance can shift momentum.
Absolutely.
This disciplined effort meant the pressure the bowlers created was consistently converted into wickets. Now, despite the early setbacks for England, there was maybe a glimmer of hope. Towards the end of the day, Harry Brook, he was 30 not out, and the veteran Joe Root, 18 not out. They managed to forge a crucial unbeaten 52-run partnership by stumps.
Okay, so some resistance.
Some resistance. It offered England that glimmer of stability after the initial onslaught, prevented a complete collapse on the day, and perhaps carried, a whisper of hope into day 3. Just a whisper, though.
So by the end of play on day 2, what was the overall picture of the match? It sounds like India was not just in control, but in a truly dominant position.
Precisely. Dominant is the word. The second day unequivocally underscored India's profound dominance, driven by both Gill's history-making knock and the relentless, disciplined pace attack that followed.
Right.
At stumps, England trailing by a massive 510 runs, a monumental deficit. And with their top order already gone, India had tightened their grip on the match almost unbreakably.
So they're looking good for the series.
They're now firmly aiming for a potential series comeback, after a less favorable start in the first test, showcasing a team operating near the peak of its powers, and with a standout individual performance that will undoubtedly be remembered for a long time. And the deeper insight here, it isn't just about the numbers, right? It's a powerful signal. India's next generation of leaders, exemplified by Gill, they're not just arriving. They're redefining what's possible, setting new benchmarks for aggression, composure in Test cricket.
That's a really interesting point, that shift.
Yeah, it impacts team psychology, opposition strategy, even the future narrative of Indian cricket itself. Big stuff.
It sounds like a remarkable display of cricketing prowess, a true masterclass. But as we often see, the world of sports, well, it's sometimes inextricably intertwined with bigger geopolitical currents. And our next headline perfectly illustrates that delicate, often volatile connection.
Diplomatic crossroads, India-Bangladesh cricket tour on hold.
Now, this is where it truly gets compelling, I think. We shift from cricket played on the field to the profound diplomatic consequences directly impacting the sport itself. A major cricket tour, India-Bangladesh, now likely to be called off. And it's a decision directly attributable to escalating political tensions between these two South Asian nations.
Yeah, and taking a step back, this incident, it offers a broader lesson, doesn't it, on how deeply intertwined even seemingly apolitical things, like the public passion for cricket, are with high-stakes government decisions.
Absolutely.
It illustrates how profoundly sensitive bilateral relationships can be, where cultural and sporting exchanges, even when there's a strong public appetite for them, can suddenly get caught in the crossfire of geopolitical shifts.
It's a reminder, isn't it?
It's a potent reminder. In sensitive bilateral relationships, culture isn't just an exchange, it's often a diplomatic lever, making every match a potential political statement, or, as in this case, a direct casualty of political instability.
So let's unpack this impending cancellation. What were the original plans for this tour? How significant was it expected to be?
Okay, so the tour in question is India's upcoming cricket tour of Bangladesh, originally scheduled for August 2025.
Right, so quite soon.
Quite soon. It was set to be a significant series, designed to feature 3 one-day internationals, 3 T20 internationals, all planned between August 17th and 31st. It represented a crucial bilateral engagement for both nations, not just in terms of cricket, but also, fostering goodwill, maintaining regular sporting ties. But now, sources indicate it's highly likely to be called off, a decision with immediate and far-reaching implications for both cricketing boards and, of course, their respective fan bases.
What's the specific root cause here? What triggered these escalating tensions between India and Bangladesh?
The suspension is directly attributed to escalating political tensions between the two nations. They've reached a critical point, apparently. The primary trigger, the ousting of Bangladesh's Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina.
Ah, okay. That was recent.
Yes. Her government's fall, as reported, ignited a period of significant regional instability and diplomatic friction. This political upheaval created a climate of uncertainty and raised significant security concerns for visiting teams.
Security concerns, that makes sense.
Serious enough concerns to warrant canceling a major international sporting event. While the specifics on the threats aren't public, the general atmosphere of political unrest would make it really difficult to guarantee the safety of international athletes, support staff, leading to this difficult decision.
And how is this official decision being handled? Is it being framed as a permanent cancellation, or is there some nuance to the announcement?
Well, sources indicate the Indian government directly advised the BCCI, the Board of Control for Cricket in India, to cancel the tour.
Oh, okay. So government level.
Yes, signaling the seriousness of the political assessment. Now, while an official announcement is expected soon, the framing, that's important here, for diplomatic reasons, it will likely be presented as a postponement.
Ah, not a cancellation.
Right, rather than an outright cancellation. This distinction, it's a diplomatic maneuver, designed perhaps to leave room for future rescheduling, once political stability returns to Bangladesh, or tensions sufficiently subside.
Keeps the door open.
Exactly. Yeah. It avoids burning bridges entirely, keeps open the possibility of resuming bilateral ties in the future. Smart diplomacy, maybe?
Beyond the official announcement, then, what are the immediate logistical impacts, the things we're already seeing on the ground because of this?
The ripple effects are already quite clear, particularly on the financial and logistical fronts for the cricketing boards. The Bangladesh Cricket Board, the BCB.
Yeah.
They've already halted the planned media rights sale, specifically for the India series.
That's a big hit, financially.
Oh, huge. Matches against India typically generate substantial revenue, immense fan interest, high viewership. So instead of waiting indefinitely, the BCB has opted to sell rights for its T20I series against Pakistan separately.
Okay, damage control.
A swift, necessary pivot to manage their broadcasting revenue streams. And furthermore, Indian broadcasters, who'd normally be gearing up for coverage, they've reportedly been informed of the impending tour cancellation. And crucially, no invitation to tender, no ITT, has been issued by the BCB for the India series.
Right. The absence of the ITT is key.
It's a strong, concrete signal that the tour is indeed not moving forward as planned. Highlights the immediate operational impact.
This sounds like a significant setback. What are the broader implications? For the players, maybe, and for the future of cricket relations between these two nations?
It's a definite setback, yeah. Particularly for senior players and just the cricketing calendar itself. This delay, it directly impacts the potential comeback or, consistent game time for seasoned players like Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma.
Ah, right. They focus more on ODIs now.
Exactly. They currently primarily participate in ODIs and might have used this series as a key preparation point or just to reestablish their rhythm. But it's important to note, this isn't a complete severance of ties.
Okay.
Despite this specific bilateral setback, India and Bangladesh are still scheduled to meet in the Asia Cup in September, which, for now, remains unaffected.
So multi-nation events are different.
They are. This continuity offers a crucial distinction. And what's particularly insightful about this move, it mirrors India's long-standing policy of avoiding bilateral cricket with Pakistan due to geopolitical tensions.
That's a fascinating parallel.
It is. Yet, similar to the Pakistan situation, India continues to participate in multi-nation events like the Asia Cup and the Women's World Cup, which still feature contests between these historically estranged rivals.
Interesting nuance.
It suggests a nuanced diplomatic approach, right? A willingness to participate in larger international forums where politics might be momentarily set aside for sport, but a firm stance against direct bilateral engagements when political stability or security concerns are paramount. It really illustrates how statecraft filters down, even to cultural exchanges.
It's a fascinating parallel, showing how some intense rivalries are managed differently depending on the stage, the political context. And speaking of international relations, India's evolving global footprint. Another headline takes us across the globe, showcasing a very different kind of diplomatic engagement, one built on historical ties and soft power.
Global diplomacy PM Modi's historic visit to Trinidad and Tobago.
So, what does this all mean for India's global footprint, its strategy for international relations? We're seeing Prime Minister Narendra Modi embarking on a truly significant diplomatic tour, with a historic stop in Trinidad and Tobago, signaling a deliberate expansion, perhaps, of India's diplomatic horizons into regions maybe less traditionally highlighted.
hmm And this raises an important question, doesn't it, about the strategic expansion of India's international outreach. Specifically, its emphasis on strengthening ties with countries where it has strong cultural, historical connections, often through its diaspora.
Right, the diaspora connection is key there.
It is. It demonstrates a proactive approach to building alliances, fostering goodwill beyond traditional spheres of influence, looking for new partners, leveraging existing bonds in the global south.
Let's start with the welcome itself. How was Prime Minister Modi received in Port of Spain? What did that convey about the significance of this visit?
He received a truly ceremonial, incredibly vibrant welcome in Port of Spain, the capital. A reception befitting, a head of state from a rising global power. This visit marks his first official trip to the Caribbean nation.
First official visit.
It's a landmark event. He was greeted with traditional music and vibrant performances blending Indian and local culture, which immediately underscored the deep, organic cultural ties that bind the two nations.
Nice touch.
And he wasn't just greeted by officials, he was warmly received by a significant delegation. Prime Minister Kamala Prasad Bisesar herself, plus a remarkable 38 ministers, 4 members of parliament, all Apiarco International Airport.
That's a big reception committee.
Huge. And furthermore, many members of the Indian diaspora, which is a substantial community in Trinidad and Tobago, gathered enthusiastically to welcome him, highlighting the profound personal, communal significance of his visit. Made it more than just a state visit. A homecoming of sorts, maybe.
Beyond the ceremonial welcome, what's the primary purpose of this 2-day visit? How does it fit into his broader diplomatic schedule?
All right, so the 2-day visit, July 3rd to 4th, it's part of a broader, quite ambitious 5-nation tour spanning July 2nd to 9th.
Okay, busy trip.
Very busy. Indicates a packed, strategically important diplomatic agenda for the Prime Minister. During his time in Port of Spain, Modi is scheduled to hold crucial discussions with both President Christine Carla Kingaloo and Prime Minister Prasad Bisesar.
And the goal.
The overarching goal is clear: strengthen bilateral relations. But it isn't just a general aim. There's specific emphasis on key areas of cooperation. Digital finance, increasingly important for developing economies. Renewable energy, aligning with global climate goals. Energy security. Health, always a critical area of mutual assistance. And information technology, IT, where India has globally recognized expertise.
So playing to strengths.
Exactly. These areas represent not just mutual interests, but also significant potential for growth, collaboration, leveraging India's strengths to assist its partners in the global south.
It certainly sounds like a significant step up in the relationship. Was there any particular observation made about the stature of this visit compared to previous engagement?
Yes, absolutely. And this is a key point highlighting the visit's elevated importance. Dev Degal, a former permanent secretary at Trinidad and Tobago's Ministry of Agriculture, he explicitly expressed a sense of pride in Modi's visit.
Okay.
And he put it into historical perspective. He notably pointed out its elevated stature compared to Modi's last trip to the country, 22 years ago.
Wow, 22 years.
Yeah. Back then, Modi attended the World Hindu Conference, but he wasn't yet the Prime Minister of India. This time, as the head of state of a major global power, his visit carries immense diplomatic weight, prestige, signaling a new era in bilateral ties.
Makes sense.
Degal also highlighted the profound significance of Modi being honored with the Order of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, the OTT. It's the country's highest civilian award.
That's a huge honor.
Huge. Degal emphasized that this award reflects mutual respect and will help deepen ties between the two countries, symbolizing the profound appreciation, the importance placed on this diplomatic engagement, far beyond just simple cordiality.
And what about the cultural and strategic importance of this particular destination for India? How does it fit into a larger geopolitical mosaic?
The cultural and strategic importance is immense, multi-layered, primarily because nearly half of Trinidad and Tobago's population is of Indian origin.
Half the population, wow.
Yes. This demographic reality provides a unique, powerful foundation for diplomatic engagement, lends undeniable cultural and strategic importance to the visit. This diaspora acts as a natural bridge for soft power, right? Facilitating deeper cultural understanding, economic exchange.
Right.
The High Commission in Trinidad and Tobago itself posted a warm welcome message, further underscoring the significance of this diplomatic engagement, the shared heritage that transcends geographical distance.
And
Strategically for India, strengthening relations with Caribbean nations like Trinidad and Tobago fits into a broader strategy, diversifying its global partnerships, particularly within the Global South. It allows India to expand its diplomatic influence beyond traditional power blocks, foster South-South cooperation, and potentially secure resources or markets in a region with growing strategic importance.
So it's building influence.
Building partnerships. The visit is widely expected to catalyze enhanced cooperation and reinforce shared values between India and Trinidad and Tobago, fostering a closer relationship built on historical connections and future-oriented collaboration, positioning India as a reliable partner in the region.
It's a powerful demonstration, isn't it? How soft power, historical connections can drive current diplomacy, shape new alliances. But not all international relations are quite as cordial. As our next story reveals, a truly terrifying incident that put two nuclear-armed nations on the brink.
Geopolitical tensions. The brink of nuclear conflict between India and Pakistan.
Right. Now let's try to unpack this deeply concerning revelation. It casts a chilling light on the razor-thin margins in high-stakes geopolitics. We're talking about a terrifyingly close call between India and Pakistan during what was known as Operation Sindoor. This is the kind of detail that makes you truly appreciate the immense gravity, the fragility of international relations, particularly when nuclear arsenals are involved.
What's truly fascinating here, and indeed chilling to consider, is the direct, unvarnished disclosure provided by a senior official. This kind of transparency, even years later, it underscores the immense pressure, the terrifying uncertainty, and the profound potential for catastrophic miscalculation that military and political leaders face during such heightened moments of tension between nuclear-armed states. It pulls back the curtain, puts into stark reality how quickly a situation can spiral out of control, literally in a matter of seconds.
So who made this disclosure, and what exactly did they reveal about this near-miss incident that has now come to light?
The chilling details were disclosed by Rana Sanallah. He serves as an advisor to Pakistan Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif.
Okay, a senior figure.
A very senior figure. He revealed that during the military standoff, specifically when India launched a BrahMos missile at Pakistan's Nurkan Air Base during Operation Sindoor, Pakistan's military had an unbelievably fleeting window.
How fleeting?
A mere 30 to 45 seconds.
30 seconds.
30 to 45 seconds. To assess whether that incoming missile carried a conventional or a nuclear warhead.
That's impossible.
This incredibly tight, almost impossible time frame sparked immediate, profound fear within Pakistan's command structure. Fear of a catastrophic miscalculation that could have triggered a full-scale nuclear exchange between the two nations.
I can't even imagine.
Sanallah described the moment as dangerously frantic, emphasizing the intensity of confusion and potential consequences, and chillingly warned that any misinterpretation could have led to nuclear retaliation. Imagine the weight of that decision. So little information, such a compressed time frame.
It's an impossibly short window for such a critical life-or-death decision. What was the broader context of this standoff? What events led to this heightened tension, the launch of the missile in the first place?
Right. The tensions that precipitated this crisis, they stem from a truly brutal terror attack in Pahalgam, Jammu, and Kashmir. A devastating attack where 26 civilians, mostly tourists, were killed.
Horrific.
This incident naturally escalated tensions dramatically, pushed an already volatile relationship right to the brink. In immediate response, India launched coordinated strikes via its Navy, Army, and Air Force.
Okay.
With the explicit aim of eliminating key Jaish-e-Mohammed Jem and Lashkar-e-Taiba, Lahtani operatives in Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir.
Known terrorist groups.
Known terrorist organizations, responsible for numerous attacks in India. These strikes were a direct punitive measure. The operation and its aftermath resulted in the destruction of multiple terror camps, which, as you can imagine, significantly intensified hostilities between the two nuclear neighbors, pushed them closer to a full-scale conflict than many perhaps realized at the time.
And how did this incredibly precarious situation eventually de-escalate? And what calls are now being made in the aftermath of this disclosure?
Fortunately, despite the extreme tension, Pakistan eventually requested a ceasefire,
Okay.
which ultimately led to a de-escalation of the immediate crisis. pulled both nations back from the abyss, thankfully. However, the shadow of the incident, the near miss, clearly remains. Sanala also specifically called for an independent investigation
So what?
into former U.S. President Donald Trump's involvement in the crisis, suggesting that international diplomatic roles should be scrutinized.
Interesting. Why Trump?
Well, it indicates a desire to understand any external influences, interventions, back-channel negotiations perhaps, that may have occurred during this critical period, particularly given the close, though complex, ties between the U.S. and Pakistan at various times. It highlights that the crisis likely involved more than just the two belligerents.
What are the broader implications of this revelation coming to light now? It sounds like a stark, terrifying reminder of the dangers.
It absolutely is. Cannot be overstated. The incident highlighted the razor-thin margins separating conventional conflict and nuclear disaster between India and Pakistan.
Razor thin is right.
The disclosure by Sanala, especially amplified through a viral clip of his statements, it has predictably reignited debate over stability, diplomacy, and high-stakes decision-making during geopolitical crises.
Understandably.
It serves as a powerful, terrifying reminder that even in an age of advanced military tech, human miscalculation, human fear, human decision-making under unimaginable pressure within seconds remains the ultimate determinant between regional tension and global catastrophe.
It's sobering.
It underscores the profound fragility of peace in a nuclearized world, demands an even greater focus on robust de-escalation protocols, clear communication channels, effective international mediation to prevent future near misses. This kind of transparency, even years later, is crucial for understanding the true nature of these high-stakes geopolitical dance-offs, and it forces us to confront the terrifying reality of nuclear brinkmanship.
That truly puts into perspective the precarious balance in some of the world's most volatile regions, and while that's about physical security, military action. Our next story touches on digital security and freedom, highlighting a different but equally significant kind of government control impacting millions of lives.
Digital Rights India leads in internet restrictions.
Here's where it gets truly compelling, I think, as we pivot to the digital realm, specifically the issue of internet access and India's alarming position as a global leader in government-imposed restrictions. This has profound, widespread implications. Daily life, economic activity, the exercise of fundamental rights for a massive segment of the global population.
Yeah, taking a step back, this is a truly significant finding. It raises critical questions about digital rights, governance, in our increasingly connected world. It underscores a growing global trend, really. Governments increasingly asserting control over information flows, often under the guise of maintaining public order or national security.
But India stands out.
But India's scale and the sheer frequency of these shutdowns, it makes its situation particularly notable and a subject of global concern.
So what exactly does this new research from Surfshark reveal about India's position regarding these internet shutdowns?
Okay, according to new research from Surfshark, the digital privacy firm, India unequivocally led the world in government-imposed internet restrictions during the first half of 2025.
Led the world.
Led the world. The data reveals the country recorded a striking 5 shutdowns during widespread protests, which regrettably made it the worst offender among 10 nations that collectively enacted 24 such restrictions globally during that period.
And that's an increase.
It represents a noticeable, worrying increase from 20 restrictions in the same period just last year. And these restrictions weren't uniform either. They varied significantly, ranging from full blackouts, complete cutoffs, to censorship of specific platforms like Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, Telegram, WhatsApp, platforms widely used for communication, social networking, critical information sharing by hundreds of millions of people across India.
What legal justification do authorities in India typically use for implementing these shutdowns? And what's the immediate tangible impact on citizens, on businesses?
Authorities in India frequently cite Section 5(2) of the Telegraph Act of 1885.
1885, wow, that's
a colonial-era provision, yeah. It allows for the temporary suspension of telecom services during public emergencies or in the interest of public safety, grants the government broad powers.
And the impact?
The immediate significant impact is that they significantly impacted access to information and communication services for millions, cut them off from vital connections. This, in turn, led to an increasing reliance on VPNs and other circumvention tools.
People trying to get around it.
Exactly. Citizens, businesses desperately seeking ways to bypass the restrictions, maintain connectivity for essential services, work, or simply staying informed. For many, the internet isn't a luxury, right? It's a lifeline. banking, education, livelihood.
How does India's situation fit into the broader global context of internet restrictions, and what kind of criticism has it drawn?
Well, Surfshark has been meticulously monitoring these restrictions globally since 2015. Their research consistently finds that political turmoil and protests were the most common triggers globally for shutdowns,
It's a common tactic.
a widespread tactic used by governments. India's recurring and extensive use of internet shutdowns has, quite predictably, drawn widespread criticism from both international and domestic human rights organizations for infringing on civil liberties and digital freedoms.
So it's criticized globally.
Widely. While this trend of internet control is global, India remains somewhat unique in the sheer frequency of its shutdowns and the specific broad legal framework it employs, placing it prominently among other nations that restrict internet access, but often perhaps with less transparency or due process. Critics argue these measures disproportionately affect innocent citizens, suppress legitimate dissent.
And what are the wider consequences of these frequent interruptions? Beyond just individual access, how do they ripple through society, the economy?
These interruptions have far-reaching, often devastating consequences. They extend well beyond individual users. They not only affect individual users, limiting their ability to communicate, access critical info, engage online, but they also severely disrupt economic activity.
How so?
Think about how much modern commerce relies on the internet. Digital transactions halted, e-commerce businesses crippled, online services like ride-sharing, food delivery, grinding to a standstill.
Right, huge economic impact.
Huge. Additionally, they significantly impact media operations. Makes it incredibly difficult for journalists to report accurately from the ground, for news to disseminate freely.
And the response? More VPNs.
The rise in censorship has, somewhat predictably, led to a surge in VPN demand. As citizens and businesses actively seek ways to maintain connectivity, access essential services often critical for daily life and work. Overall, the Surfshark data highlights a growing global pattern of government control over internet access, with India at the forefront in 2025.
A worrying trend.
An alarming trend. It raises urgent questions about transparency, governance, and the future of digital rights in democratic societies. Prompts a critical look at that delicate balance between maintaining public order and upholding fundamental freedoms in the digital age.
It's clear that balancing public order with individual liberties in the digital age is a complex global challenge. And on the ground, these tensions, they can manifest in very direct, deeply personal ways. As our next headline illustrates, a deeply troubling incident that sparked widespread outrage.
Societal divisions. The Kanwar Yatra controversy.
So what does this all mean for daily life? The delicate fabric of social harmony within India. Our next story highlights a troubling controversy during a significant religious pilgrimage. It sparked outrage, ignited a heated debate about identity, personal freedom, the challenges of coexistence in a diverse society.
This incident truly raises an important, deeply uncomfortable question, doesn't it? About that delicate balance between cultural tradition, religious observance, and the foundational constitutional values of equality, dignity. Especially in a diverse society where different communities coexist.
It's a flashpoint.
It shines a stark light on how easily communal tensions can be ignited by even a single incident, particularly when it touches upon sensitive issues of religious identity, personal space.
Tell us about the specific incident that sparked this controversy. It was during the Kanwar Yatra in Uttar Pradesh.
Yes. A deeply unsettling, widely reported controversy erupted during the ongoing Kanwar Yatra in Muzaffarnagar, a district in Uttar Pradesh. The incident involved a man who courageously came forward with an astonishing, deeply disturbing claim.
What was the claim?
That he was compelled to pull down his pants to reveal his religion.
What?
Seriously, that was the allegation. It immediately sent shockwaves through the community, the media, sparked outrage, ignited a heated public debate about religious profiling, forced identification. The very idea of being compelled to prove one's faith in such a humiliating manner, it speaks volumes about the atmosphere of suspicion some individuals are facing.
And how did political figures, opposition parties react to this claim? Was it widely condemned?
It quickly escalated into widespread political outrage. Samajwadi Party MLA Ravidas Mehrotra was particularly vocal in his condemnation, directly questioning the disturbing practice of religious interrogation for shopkeepers during a public religious event. He strongly criticized what he described as increasing communal scrutiny and posed a fundamental question that resonated widely across political spectrums: civil society. Why should shopkeepers be asked their religion?
A fair question.
His remarks highlighted deep concerns: personal freedoms, the potential for discrimination based on religious identity, the erosion of trust within communities. This isn't just about an individual incident. It points to a broader trend political leaders are now grappling with.
For those unfamiliar, what exactly is the Kanwar Yatra, and why might it be a context where such tensions and incidents can arise?
Right. The Kanwar Yatra is a significant Hindu pilgrimage. Happens annually during the monsoon season, draws millions of devotees of Lord Shiva.
Millions?
Millions. They typically travel on foot, often barefoot, carrying holy water from the Ganges River to various Shiva temples, sometimes hundreds of kilometers away. Because of its massive scale, involving millions of pilgrims traversing multiple states, passing through diverse communities, the yatra has frequently seen heightened security and political attention.
Makes sense.
This immense gathering, unfortunately, can sometimes become a flashpoint for societal tensions, where incidents like the one reported, or even rumors, can gain magnified importance, especially in areas with pre-existing communal sensitivities. Managing such a large-scale event while ensuring communal harmony, it's a perennial challenge for authorities. What kind of broader debate and societal implications did this particular incident bring to the forefront for India? The man's serious allegations immediately stirred a widespread, impassioned debate about religious discrimination and rising intolerance during cultural and religious gatherings. It brought sharp attention to concerns over identity politics and personal freedoms being encroached upon under the guise of cultural tradition or security concerns.
It touched a nerve.
Definitely. Furthermore, the incident underscored tension between political parties. Leaders from opposition blocs quickly accused the ruling establishment of fostering an atmosphere where communal profiling could occur and thrive. Critics argued forcefully that such actions deepen societal divisions and violate constitutional values of equality and dignity, foundational to India's secular democratic framework.
So it became a political football, too.
Inevitably. This incident became a microcosm of larger battles over India's pluralistic identity.
How did the public react to this incident, particularly online? And what's the potential future impact of incidents like this, especially with elections perhaps looming?
Social media reactions were immediate, intense, ranged from outrage to impassioned calls for accountability, many urging for a deeper probe into the circumstances to establish the full truth, ensure justice. While some attempted to dismiss it as an isolated, unfortunate incident, others viewed it as emblematic of broader systemic issues facing minorities in India, suggesting it's part of a larger worrying pattern, not just a one-off anomaly.
So, divided opinions.
Divided opinions. The video of the man's testimony gained significant traction online, fueled widespread discussions on civil rights, religious freedom, political responsibility across various digital platforms. As election season looms large on the horizon, incidents like this are likely to shape narratives and public discourse, prompting increased scrutiny of law enforcement conduct, behavior of religious groups, political rhetoric during sensitive religious events. They become potent symbols in the ongoing national conversation about identity, rights, and the future direction of India's social fabric.
These kinds of incidents really highlight the ongoing, often contentious societal conversations within India. Now, let's shift our focus to a different kind of scrutiny, that of financial markets, and a major regulatory action that sent ripples through the global trading community.
Market integrity, SEBI's ban on Jane Street.
Okay, let's unpack this truly significant development in the world of finance. India's market regulator, SEBI, has taken a decisive, unprecedented step against a prominent U.S.-based trading firm, Jane Street. This is a big one. Could send significant ripples through the global financial community, reshape how international players view risk in emerging markets.
What's truly fascinating here is SEBI's assertive, proactive approach to maintaining market integrity, and the very significant implications this has for how global firms operate within India's rapidly growing, increasingly sophisticated financial ecosystem.
It's a strong message.
It's a clear, unmistakable signal. The regulator is serious about its oversight, committed to enforcing fair practices, willing to flex its authority irrespective of the size or global reputation of the firm involved. This isn't just a slap on the wrist, it's a major regulatory hammer coming down.
What exactly is SEBI's interim order against Jane Street? And what are the specific allegations being made against this major trading firm?
Okay, SEBI. The Securities and Exchange Board of India has issued an extremely severe interim order banning U.S.-based trading firm Jane Street from participating in India's securities market.
A ban.
A ban. A monumental move against a firm of Jane Street's stature. The ban explicitly cites alleged manipulation through equity derivatives as the reason for this drastic action, suggesting serious misconduct in a complex, high-volume part of the market.
And the details of the ban.
The interim order is quite comprehensive, far-reaching. It prohibits Jane Street from buying, selling, or engaging in any security transactions directly or indirectly within the Indian market, including derivatives or other instruments linked to equities. Furthermore, SEBI is seeking to recover a truly substantial amount.
How much?
$38.4 billion, which translates to approximately $566.71 million.
Whoa, $500 million.
Yes. SEBI asserts these funds were acquired through improper trading practices, indicating an alleged systemic breach of market regulations that led to illicit gains on a massive scale.
How has Jane Street, a major global player in algorithmic quantitative trading, how have they responded to these very serious allegations and the immediate ban?
Jane Street, as you might expect from a firm of its global standing and legal resources, has disputed SEBI's findings. Okay. In their official response, the firm stated its firm intent to cooperate with the regulator in the ongoing investigation standard line, right, while simultaneously maintaining its commitment to regulatory compliance across jurisdictions, meaning they adhere to rules everywhere they operate.
But they disagree.
But crucially, their statement also noted disagreement with the interim conclusions reached by SEBI and indicated they anticipate further engagement with SEBI as the investigation proceeds. This suggests they're preparing for a robust legal regulatory challenge to the order, likely arguing against the interpretation of their trading activities or the evidence presented. The stakes for their reputation, future operations in India, incredibly high.
How does this high-profile case fit into the broader market context, especially given the growing interest from other global firms in India's financial landscape?
Right. This high-profile case has drawn significant attention precisely because of that growing interest from other global firms in India's financial markets. Firms like Citadel Securities, IMC Trading, Millennium, Optiver.
Big names.
All major players in the high-frequency trading derivative space. They're actively expanding operations in India's robust derivatives market. This market has seen tremendous growth, offers attractive opportunities due to liquidity, evolving regulation.
So SEBI's move is a signal.
Exactly. SEBI's decisive move here signals increased regulatory vigilance and could significantly influence how foreign entities operate within India's evolving financial ecosystem. It serves as a stark reminder. While India actively welcomes foreign investment participation, it also expects strict adherence to its regulatory frameworks. Makes it clear the Indian market is not a free-for-all. This sets a precedent for how quickly, decisively the regulator can act.
What are the ultimate implications of this incident for India's financial landscape, its reputation as an investment destination?
The implications are undoubtedly multifaceted, will unfold over time. SEBI has announced ongoing monitoring of Jane Street's positions as investigations proceed. Indicating this is far from closed, the regulator remains vigilant. This development underlines SEBI's assertive approach to maintaining market integrity and curbing unfair practices amid increased foreign participation.
A clear message.
A strong, unequivocal message to both domestic and international players. Illicit practices won't be tolerated. The incident may very well serve as a cautionary tale for international trading firms navigating India's financial regulations, especially amid rising global interest in emerging markets.
Due diligence required.
Underscores the need for thorough due diligence, strict adherence to local laws, which can differ significantly from home jurisdictions. SEBI's decisive action here powerfully reinforces its regulatory clout and commitment to protecting investor interests. Makes it abundantly clear that, quote, even prominent players must operate within established legal frameworks if they want to access the lucrative Indian market. This case will continue to unfold, with broader implications for India's market transparency and foreign investment dynamics, potentially reshaping how global financial players perceive and engage with the Indian market, balancing opportunity with increased regulatory scrutiny.
This shows that even as markets globalize, financial players seek new opportunities. National regulators are increasingly flexing their muscles, protecting their systems, ensuring fair play, asserting their sovereign control over their financial destinies. Outro. Wow. What an incredibly rich and multifaceted deep dive into the headlines from India on just one day, July 4th, 2025. We've journeyed from the thrill of record-breaking sporting achievements on the cricket pitch to the intricate world of international diplomacy, navigating high-stakes maneuvers, even that terrifying brink of nuclear conflict. We've delved into vital discussions around digital rights, social harmony, exploring the impact of government control, deep-seated societal tensions. And finally, we witnessed that powerful signal from financial regulators flexing their authority against a global trading giant.
Indeed. This carefully selected collection of headlines truly underscores the dynamic, multifaceted nature of a major global player like India. Each story, in its own distinct way, offers profound insights into the country's remarkable strengths, its persistent, often complex challenges, and its continuously evolving role on the world stage.
Yeah.
It serves as a powerful reminder, doesn't it, that every single day brings a new set of interconnected events shaping nations, regions, demonstrating the constant interplay between internal dynamics and external forces. It's never just one thing, is it? But a vast, intricate tapestry of events contributing to the larger narrative of a nation's journey.
It certainly does. So as you reflect on today's deep dive, what stands out most to you? What does this all mean for your understanding of how interconnected global events truly are? Whether they involve a cricket ball, a canceled cricket series, or a ballistic missile, something truly compelling to mull over as you go about your day.
And perhaps what important questions do these headlines prompt you to explore further? About the future of digital governance in a democratic society, the complexities of international relations in a nuclear age, or the ongoing interplay of sports, politics, and culture. These aren't isolated events, are they? They're threads in a much larger, ever-unfolding global story that demands our ongoing attention.
Exactly. Until next time, keep digging deeper.